Shaina, maybe because of the way you were raised, what are some of the things you have come to believe are must-haves to raising a child?
I think the first for me is touch. Touch. I think that is one of the first thing that I connect to my child when he's a baby. Because I can imagine that when you're a baby, we can't really communicate in an intellectual way. As the child grows older, I think touch and eyes connection still speaks volume. So that I feel is a must-have for a child. Go beyond the words. Go beyond the words of good job. The other one that I must have is being present. So it's something that I struggle. And I think because I've been teaching my child all his life. He's 6 years old now. So he's actually also very sensitive to the word being present. So he has been feedback to me that, Mama, you're not being present. I agree with him and I quickly apologize and I say, the first one we can always talk about is our own electronic devices. But beyond that, even having a conversation with them, are we really having a conversation with them or we are just asking some questions and whatever they say, we don't really connect. The two things that I talk about are timeless. Even the first day they are born. All the way to the last day when we are on earth.
I want to catch this moment where you're saying like it's as simple and as profound as that eye contact and not eye contact from a staring but it's like tender loving gaze, tender loving voice, tender loving touch is so underrated as the most simple and affordable way to establish joy and connection with your child. Right? And all it will cost you is, I don't know, some sense of embarrassment if you've never done it before. But that it is so vital for creating that safety right from birth with the kid that like this environment is safe for you. You are okay. And I will always see you as okay. Right? So it's a deep, deep sense of secure attachment.
I think those very fundamental, right? Touch and presence, right? And like what you just mentioned about attachment, it's not just for young kids, but it is something that is so fundamentally human. That you see that kids that didn't have that when they were younger will exhibit other issues when they grow up and even as adults. When attachment is something so fundamental and important for all human beings. This continuous journey of a parent or any adult who is a caregiver or working with kids to understand how our own perspective of ourselves as well as what will lead to a successful life, a great adult, is something very critical. As parents, we have certain aspirations for our children, but those are our aspirations. And I think we have to see that distinction. And if we don't, we will have many children. Even now in the system, what we perceive to be desirable traits, what we perceive to be good student, and every day making those declarations upon the children is really not helping a kid growing up to be a well-adjusted and self-assured adult and to be who he or she wants to be. We are not saying that we have to be permissive parents. Whatever you go with it. We do set boundaries, but this fundamental understanding as an adult, I think is critical. What is your own life and narrative and your own work versus what you feel your child should live. So that is also why I think even at Brave Feats, right, although it is a student care, we always endeavor to help build that environment. And the environment is not just the environment at the student care in the school, but everybody around that child.
Yes.
Right. And we do include parents in many of our important conversations and helping them and supporting them, because I think, being a parent is probably the greatest challenge you will ever have in your life, right? And we see that necessary to also help the adults and give the adults that space and support as well.
If you are a listener right now and you are a parent, I'm wanting you to listen to this from a tender space where you're not looking for more reasons to beat yourself up in this podcast. But I think it's understanding that the most valuable gift you can give a child is a deep, deep sense of security that they are fundamentally okay. There might be things that they are not doing okay in their life. There might be things that they are not doing okay in academics, but that has nothing to do with their identity.
Yes.
That there's that solid core of you are essentially okay, and you're okay enough to take a look at all of the stuff that's not doing too well, and we can fix that. Yeah, I think it's, if you invest in a child the damaging story of you are not okay, there's something wrong with you, why are you like that? That can make a child feel, okay, I am not okay, there's something fundamentally wrong with me. And if there's something wrong with me, how can I fix what's wrong in my life?
To be honest, I wasn't able to see the goodness in me or the potential that Ms. Ng saw or my parents saw in me back then. I was really in the realm of I am who I am because of my results.
Yeah.
And this is something that is very consistent even after 25 years. I mean, I was feeling like that since I was 14. And then now at the age of 37, recently we just did a well-being confidence survey with all our kids, 80 of them at Brave Feats, Bedok. And things that were showing up for about 20 odd children were their identity that is connected to their results.
Yeah.
So they do not feel valued, they do not feel worthy because of their results. So I felt that it's important that parents, that we share that distinction of the goodness that we see in our own child.
Yes.
So what my parents did back then was what Chuen-Yin shared, that, oh, but you're so good in cooking, Shaina. And you're such a family person. You always organize all our big occasions. You coordinate every timing. You book restaurants and all this stuff, and they take time to acknowledge that. And I practice that with my son as well. Whether or not it's your team partner at work, your partner in a relationship, or any kind of partnership, we always hope to have some acknowledgement or validation.
Yes.
Yeah, so I feel this is something that I hope parents, even educators, that we can provide that space. That would be the step towards that safe space that we hope to provide for the child to thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where parents can experience a little bit of like forgiveness for yourself. It is possible for a parent to invest that story of, hey kid, you are okay. And the teacher can come alongside and say like, yep, kid, you're right. Your parents are right. You are okay. And the kid can still be wrestling with a story of like, but it still doesn't make sense for me. So it's not the fault to some extent, because the kid is an independent being who's trying to make sense of it. Like, am I truly okay or not? And this reinforces the idea of why you need an entire ecosystem of a whole village of the teacher, the parent, hopefully the classmates, and even like in our future, we need like the boss, the employee. We need so much reinforcement from our fellow human beings that actually we are profoundly okay enough to start taking a look at the work that needs to be done. And that actually slowly keeps reinforcing the story for the individual child who becomes the adult that, okay, maybe I can start to believe it. After 20, 30 years, I can start to believe it. That, maybe I am deeply okay. And so it really is a whole village kind of effort here. And I think that's what I'm really appreciating about your presence in the student care landscape.